All right, good afternoon. It is Sunday, July the 5th. Hopefully everybody has had a big holiday weekend. Quickly, just wanted to talk today about a conversation I had online, very brief. I got up early this morning. I was supposed to go fishing with my son. We did go fishing. We did not have a huge successful day, but we got to spend some time together and be outside, and that was a good thing, and it was relaxing. I got up about 4 o'clock and scrolling through Facebook, getting the day started, and I saw a post by Rene Minkwitz, and pardon me if I've butchered that name, but I used to watch him compete in World's Strongest Man early 2000s, and he had posted a video of one of the events he did in Zambia, and I believe this was 2003, and it was where they dropped the kegs into the squat cage and they do reps, and he had this great event, and it was one of those things. I always admired that. I remember seeing it when it was first televised, and the intensity, and it's ironic because we were having this conversation in the gym yesterday, that there's a place, it's not just intensity, it's not just just concentration. There's almost an emotional commitment to an event or in a lift, whatever the case may be. And I think you saw the response. If you got to see the video, you saw afterwards how he was almost emotional. And that's the level of commitment. And I've always respected and admired that of Rene. And I told him that, that it was very inspiring. I remember seeing it, and he thanked me. And I told him I would do this video log. And here's why. And it's kind of ironic. I remember seeing this. And I remember seeing those guys like before with Magnus Magnuson, whom I got to meet, several years back, Garrett Badenhorst, and then in Rene's era, Magnus Samuelson, Heinz Olish, Jesse Marunde, there's so many, Mariusz Pudzianowski, Phil Pfister, and I'm not even sure. I know Phil didn't make it through to the finals that year, and I don't think Rene did either, but this event that he did was so amazing. The effort was so amazing, and I remember seeing it back then, and I had done a few things in powerlifting at that point. I was on my way up, if you will, and I remember thinking, man, it would be cool enough if I could train hard enough and get good enough that it would be cool to travel to some place like Zambia to compete. You get to represent your country, represent your gym and your teammates, and what a cool thing that would be. And I was always inspired. I remember watching the first World's Strongest Men competition and seeing Ken Patera, and I got to interview Ken Patera several years ago now at this point, for when I was writing for Power Mag. But anyway, there's this history with that sport, and again, seeing that kind of effort, from Rene, and again thinking, wouldn't it be cool? So last year, I got to travel to Potchefstroom, I think it's pronounced, which is not far from Johannesburg. That's where we flew into, and I competed at the IPF Masters Equipped World Championships. Now, it's a pretty good romp. Zambia is almost due south. Potchefstroom is almost due south from Zambia. But I got to go to South Africa. I trained long enough and hard enough that I finally, got to fulfill that dream. And but I remember vividly watching this event on TV and thinking how cool it was, and how inspirational it was, not only this morning, but at that time. And so quickly, what I wanted to say about all that I've already said is that it's so interesting that in a world right now, we're dealing with this pandemic. There's a lot of social and civil issues that across the world that we need to work on and resolve and find common ground. But the thing that I love about this It's two guys whom have never met that share a common goal, a common passion, you know, and can make a connection on social media and it have such a positive impact. And I'm all about being as positive about things as we can be. That doesn't diminish anything that's going on, any issue, any wrongdoing. It just means, you know, that in the midst of all this, there are great things and positive things. So Rene, from an old American guy that watched you on TV years ago, I was inspired. And the thing that I still, regardless of the result, and I was telling my guys this yesterday, it's not always the result that is so important. It's the passion and the effort that you give and the resolve you have to achieve your goal. Whether you win or lose, I mean, we all want to win. We all want that. We all want to achieve those goals. But it is a very special thing to be able to get on a platform and to test yourself in that manner and give that kind of effort. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I appreciated that, and I certainly respect and admire how hard you had to work to get to that point. So cheers, my friend, and let's keep doing this even though we're older. All right, everybody, take care. God bless.